This is the Sic Em Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Online at alansamuelsdcj.com. The Sic Em Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics. Now, here are your hosts, Brooke Bednarz and the voice of the Bears, John Morris.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Sic Em Podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. Hey, we're glad you're with us this week. March Madness in full war. Big 12 tournaments this week in Kansas City for both the Baylor men and the Baylor women. And Brooke, how about Baylor as the number one seed in the Big 12 tournaments on the men's side and the women's side?
Absolutely, John. We've had so much excitement. It's been a mad March already, and we're not even in the tournaments. But to everyone listening, it might sound a little bit different because John and I are not in the same place. John's actually in Kansas City, just landed. Super excited that you're there and going to be able to follow along with our number one seeds and Big 12 regular season champs. Hopefully we come home with two more right there.
Absolutely. And we are pleased to have with us nobody better to talk to this week than Baylor's Vice President and Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, who is with us today. And Mack, we appreciate some time in your schedule. You've got a very hectic schedule right now. So thanks very much and welcome to you.
Well, thank you, John and Brooke. It's great to be with you both. Two different places, right? And I'm in a third location. So how about that in regards to technology? So I've got to be honest. I am trying to keep all of this straight between all of the accolades and for both of the programs, both women's basketball and men's basketball. It has been truly an amazing year for both programs.
But what a good problem to have. What a good problem to have. So many awards and things to celebrate. It's too hard to keep up.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the best part of it is we've got great young people, right, that represent us, great coaches, great staff, great fans. It's been, a tremendous year. It's been a journey. It's been a year filled with challenges for both programs to finish as regular season Big 12 champions. Amazing. I think only 3 Big 12s have done that in the same season. I think Kansas in 1997 and Iowa State in 2000. So you think about it, 21 years later, we're able to accomplish it. And again, just unbelievable by both programs.
And to amplify on that, only that Kansas team in 97 and then Baylor this year won outright titles. Iowa State had to share it. One of those was shared by them in 2000. So we could say, we're one of only 2 Big 12 schools in 25 years in the Big 12 to win outright conference championships, both the men and the women in the same year. Yeah,
it's tremendous. I sit there and I think about just, the programs, and if you don't mind, I'm going to go through just a few of the things, but you mentioned it, right? Men's basketball, first conference title, right? In the program since 1950, right? John, I wasn't born. I don't know about you. I know Brooke definitely wasn't born, but that's a long time ago, right? Undefeated, men's basketball undefeated at home for the first time since 1947. 48. I mean, that the 47-48 season. I talked and spoke about the challenges earlier, but for men's basketball to overcome, the COVID issues, the 18 days, right, and to be able to come back and play well pretty quickly, right, experience that only loss. You think about women's basketball and their just consistency. This. What I would refer to as a dynasty, right? You think about 11 consecutive regular season champions. Who does that, right? The New England Patriots, maybe UCLA, right? That's unbelievable. The nation's longest active regular season conference title run. They had to restrict team activities from January 5th to the 15th. That seems, but they had COVID challenges, just unreal, right? And then a lot of just postseason conference awards, which we can talk about whenever you're ready.
First on the men's side, Scott Drew's Men's Coach of the Year. Very, very appropriate. We are biased. We felt like Jared Butler should have been the Big 12 Player of the Year. He didn't get that, but he's got the team award as the Bears' Big 12 champs. But Jared Butler is first team All Big 12. Davion Mitchell, first team All Big 12. Davion, the Defensive Player of the Year, and Maceo Teague, second team All Big 12 as well. So great honors, individual awards on the men's side.
Yeah. And can we mix and match those, right? Because the AP came out with their awards. So, when you think about the AP, Jared Butler was named
Yes.
Big 12 Player of the Year. Coach Drew, again, another Coach of the Year award. So Jared Butler, first team again. And then we had, with the AP, we had both Davion and Maceo on the second team. So like I'm combining both. I'm using both the Big 12 and the AP, and they both got it right. But just think about all the awards on the men's side, and again, shouldn't surprise us just because of the year they've had, right? Ranked number 2 the entire time, other than the 1 week, and just a tremendous year.
And the women have had a tremendous year as well. And the awards speak for themselves, just like they do on the men's side. John, do you want to go ahead and announce those for everyone listening in case they haven't heard already?
Yeah, this is just out today. If you're watching listening to our podcast as we release it on Wednesday, March 10th. So Nalissa Smith is the Player of the Year. Congratulations to her. Nalissa is first team All Big 12. Moon Urson, Dee Richards are second team All Big 12. Dejanay Carrington, she cleaned up. She's the newcomer of the year in the Big 12, and she is the 6th person of the year in the Big 12. So some great MAC individual honors on the women's side just out today.
Yeah, absolutely, and so well deserving. Nalissa, it's hard to live up to the hype, right? And she certainly had a lot of accolades coming into the season, and she lived up to every one of them by becoming Player of the Year, right? And then first team. You think about Dee Richards, think about her journey back, right? We weren't even sure that she was going to play after her injury, and Moon was certainly part of that as well. But for Dee to be able to come back and be, second team, right? And then Moon, one of our all-time favorites, right? Fan favorites. What a journey she's had, right? She's had some challenges as you think about her high school career and just sticking with it, maybe not playing as much as she wanted to earlier in her career, but just working through it, right? And now second team Big 12, and then Dejanay, as you mentioned, what a great addition to our program. And you think about all of these names, all of these awards, they truly are even better people than they are basketball players. We are blessed with great student athletes, and again, 2 great head coaches. And Kim Mulkey, who's going to be welcomed in right into the Hall of Fame, right? So well deserving. And then Coach Drew, which I'm certain is on his way as well.
I also think it's pretty neat when you look at, Dejanay, she transferred in, and then you look at the men's side, and there's been some transfers throughout the years, and just the impact that we're seeing those kids have this year. It says a lot about the culture of Baylor basketball, whether it's the men or the women's side, that those athletes seek out Baylor as an opportunity to, develop into the athletes that we're seeing today.
Yeah, absolutely, Brooke. I think that, both programs, right, prospective student athletes see it as an opportunity to become part of a championship program, right? A championship culture that goes way beyond just the wins and losses, right? It's, what we talk about all the time, preparing champions for life. It's the way we do things academically. It's the way we do things, character formation, our Baylor Built program, right? Our spiritual growth. And then certainly it's the basketball piece. It's about developing, becoming the best player that you can on the court. It's about coming into programs where you're selfless, you're unselfish, right? You play for one another, and guess what? And then you win championships. And so again, just both really terrific programs that have a championship culture.
Well, we mentioned it. We're celebrating 2 regular season Big 12 championships titles for the men and the women. And John, now you're in Kansas City with hopes of coming home with 2 more Big 12 championships for the tournament. Tell us a little bit about, what the seeds are. We're both number 1 seeds. They're expected to play, but they get a first round bye. And it's pretty exciting, Joe, though, just that the fact that you are there and that our teams are headed into postseason play. Because as we all remember last year, it was a little crazy.
That's what I was going to say, especially given last year when the men were here and Coach Drew had to have them after a team meal. I remember it very distinctly having to say, hey, we're not playing the tournament. And then a few minutes later, hey, there's no NCAA tournament. Mac, those were unprecedented times, weren't they, when all that was happening? You were here in Kansas City. Really feel for those teams that didn't get to finish out their seasons, and especially the seniors last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And I'm so excited to say this, John. Save me a seat because I'm on my way and we'll be headed out there tomorrow. But the fact that we're gonna play both tournaments, what a blessing, right? A lot of hard work by everybody involved. All of the teams, all the medical directors, the Big 12 conference, right? And I remember sitting on that plane with the men's basketball team as we were headed back, right? And just the disappointment. And as you mentioned it, John, the disappointment for seniors, right? Just my goodness, Lauren Cox and Freddie Gillespie and others, right? To be able to play it this year, I think certainly means a lot, and grateful for the way the Big 12 Conference has put this together. Brooke, you mentioned, awesome that we both of us, are number 1 seeds, and we get a bye. Men don't play until Thursday, and they play the winner, obviously, of the Kansas State TCU game, right? And then our women don't play until Friday, and so looking forward to both of those games.
We touched on it with Mooners in our special edition when we celebrated the Big 12 titles, but they're just fingers crossed, and they're pretty excited to just take off on that plane flight because they were left on the tarmac last year when it was canceled and they got the news. But we will be right back with more of the Sic Em Podcast after this quick break, and then we'll be back to talk more of the spring seasons with Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mack Rhoades.
There's only one Motor Trend Truck of the Year. It's Ram from Allen Samuels. Now, kick off the new year with remarkable savings on new Rams during the Allen Samuels Start Something New sales event. This special New Year's event is underway right now, and you can save thousands on new Rams. Ram, for your family, farm, or business, and Waco's most trusted dealer, Allen Samuels. Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Your friend in the car business.
Whether on the field or cheering from home, Du Bois Furniture is proud to support the Baylor Bears. If your bear cave needs updating, Du Bois Furniture is here to help. With over 59 years of our family serving yours, let our experienced sales team help you find exactly what you want. We specialize in custom upholstery, stunning dining rooms, elegant bedrooms, gorgeous leather, and top quality mattresses. Come see us in Waco and Temple or visit us online at DuBoisFurniture.com. Du Bois Furniture, where beautiful homes happen.
Now, back to the Sic Em Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat.
Welcome back on this week's Sic Em Podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. And remember to subscribe, download a new Sic Em Podcast each week. Some weeks more than one. We've got so much good stuff going on in Baylor Athletics. Just find it on Apple, Spotify, on the Baylor website at BaylorBears.com. And tune in for a new edition of the Sic Em Podcast each week. John Morris, Brooke Bednarz, and pleased to have Baylor's athletic director, Mack Rhoades, as our guest this week. And we've talked about basketball and all the success for Baylor men's and women's basketball as they begin play in the Big 12 tournaments this week. But Mack, those are just two of the, what's the number, 13 sports that are playing here in the spring. 13,
John. Nothing like organized chaos, right? And trying to keep track of who's playing and when we're playing, and is that a home match? Is it a home game? Is it away, right? And trying to find a way to attend all of them. But obviously, it's a really exciting time of the year. You know, we added, because we didn't have enough just with our normal spring sports, right? We added soccer and volleyball to the mix because of COVID, right? They both experienced a regular season in the fall, but now are experiencing a second regular season here in the spring. As we know, both of those championships, the NCAA moved to the spring. So just a lot going on. Man, our facilities crew. Henry Howard, Drew Pittman, Jonathan Berry, Will Lattimore, just all of them, man, just doing a phenomenal job trying to balance it all. So excited about it. And you know, you think about the success right now of those spring sports. We've got women's golf. I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but is it 5 straight tournaments that they've won? Something like that. I mean, it's remarkable what they've done. And so they're ranked number 1 in the country, along with acrobatics and tumbling, right? And by the way, we get to host the acrobatics and tumbling national championship. So that's awesome, right? We've got men's tennis and, of course, men's basketball ranked number 2 in the country, and volleyball, women's basketball ranked number 6 in the country, equestrian number 9, women's track and field number 11, women's tennis number 15. I'm out of breath. It is quite remarkable. And you know, when we think back to 4 years ago, right? We talked about being a top 5 athletics program in the country, and we certainly still have a lot of work to do, but just a phenomenal job by our student athletes and our coaches. And again, so much more than just the winning piece. It's all of it. It's preparing champions for life in our 4 pillars. Academic achievement and spiritual growth and character formation, and certainly the athletic success. So I'm looking forward to a great spring.
What does it mean to you? We just said out of breath. I mean, when you talk about those numbers and those rankings, that is just absolutely amazing. I remember sharing the tweet just saying Baylor is good at sports. But when you look at that and then you think about everything that those programs have gone through, you just called it organized chaos, but having some of them have had to go on those COVID breaks and have everything paused. They're not living their typical college lives. They're having to be extra careful in order to make sure that they can play and take care of their teammates. When you think about all of that stuff and you still see that they're that successful in those rankings, what do you think about that? I mean, that says a lot about those programs.
Yeah, it's a great question, Brooke. And my mind is flooded with several thoughts, but, I think back to, August and just sitting down with our head coaches and saying, hey, the win is just if we can get to play, right? That's the win. Let's just try to play because one, our doctor says, our medical, professional said that we could do it safely. Right. And our student athletes, said that, hey, we want to compete. And so the win is just being able to play. Right. And then all of the challenges and the obstacles that come with, COVID protocol, and to be able to just not make any excuses, right? Just navigate through all of it, right? And to be able to have this type of success is it's amazing. And I hope, it's something, and I do. I personally pray about this, that it's something we never take for granted, right? And with success, right, right or wrong, you get a platform, right? And so how do we handle that platform, right? How do we influence people that are watching us each and every day? Because Baylor, wow, they're winning. And so it's as much as how we're doing it, and I probably think it's more about how we're doing it than the final outcome. And again, I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of our student athletes. Every one of those programs, right? I've got 3 daughters. If I had 3 sons, right, daughters, sons, I'd want them to play and participate and be a member of those programs because of the way they do it and the things and lessons that our student athletes are learning.
And Mac, when you put on your AD's hat and you look at how well-rounded the athletic department is, all the programs are succeeding, competing for championships, winning championships across the board. I mean, some schools you look at and you say, that's a football school, or that's a basketball school, or that's a volleyball school. But, here at Baylor, it is so well-rounded. I'm sure you have to appreciate that.
No, John, I do. And, that speaks to, the conversation and maybe even the declaration of wanting to be a top five athletics program. And why not here at Baylor? And it's you're right. It's been amazing. You've heard me say it. Both of you have heard me say it. You win with people, right? You have to have great resources in terms of facilities and recruiting budget and all of those things, but they mean nothing if you don't have great people. I really believe this. It starts and it ends with people, and we have unbelievable people. You two are certainly part of that, a huge part of that, right? But we've got great coaches, we've got great student athletes, we've got great administrators, we've got great leadership, Dr. Livingstone, our board of regents, right? You win with people, and if you have great people, and if you have people that actually and truly, do not care who gets the credit, right? It's amazing what you can accomplish. And so, again, we're certainly not perfect. We're going to continue this journey, and we're going to continue to tweak and try to get better. There's always opportunity for improvement, and we're going to continue to be on that path. And again, never take for granted the success that we're having.
A couple of weekends ago, I know, speaking from the Baylor Vision staff, we were working out of 2 control rooms. We had 4 different sports going on, and I think we had about 11 broadcasts in one weekend alone. You mentioned the facilities department, and it was interesting for me to witness the transition of a basketball game to later the Farrell Center being set up for acrobatics and tumbling. Not only is that a big change of just moving parts and pieces, but also the sanitation of everything because of COVID and all those protocols and making sure it's safe for our fans and everything of that nature. So when you think about all the different sports that are happening and all the different people that are playing a role in making that possible, you have to be pretty proud to just say from last spring, we would have done anything to have the organized chaos that we have right now.
Yeah, Brooke, it's just COVID and it sounds like a broken record, but it's the reality, right? It's what we're living each and every day. It's just brought another layer of added responsibility, right? And the other areas of responsibility were not taken away. So it's just been already, more to a staff that already does a lot. And, I mentioned some names earlier, but, you think about event management and facilities, and in addition to the previous names, Joe Dodaro and Paula Young and Terry Tucker and Jeremy Vitt and Bodie and Martha and Sarah. I mean, just an unbelievable event management facility staff that's doing a lot. And it's across the board. It's our health and wellness staff. It's our equipment services. It's our creative services. It's just, there's so much more that our people are having to handle, having to manage. And it's been taxing. It's been hard. It's been strenuous, right? Both mentally, physically, and our people just continue to hang in there and deliver at a high level day in, day out. And I'm hoping at some point in time we can all have a moment to rest, but certainly doesn't look that way here in the spring.
Hey, Mac, we got some more topics to throw at you. Let's take a short break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Our Sic Em Podcast continues with Athletic Director Mack Rhoades right after this.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. AFReserve.com.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the Big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oilfield trailers? We carry a full line of Big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
TNG can, and here's why.
To say my wife and I have a lot to clean is an understatement. So we go to TNG Chemical, where the pros know what cleaning solutions to use and give us detailed instructions on exactly how to use them. We never got that kind of advice from any other stores. And the prices at TNG are great. From general household cleaners to odor control solutions for our pets. We go to TNG Chemical and Supply. That's why.
TNG Chemical and Supply. That's why.
You're listening to the Sic Em Podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. Here again are Brooke Bednarz and John Morris.
You're listening to the Sic Em Podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. Brooke Bednarz, along with the voice of the Bears, John Morris, and we're visiting with the Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades. Mack, we're talking about facilities and all the credit that they're well-deserved, making this unprecedented, very busy spring season happen. The Farrell Center has been rocking with the amount of sports going on there this spring, which brings to mind the new basketball pavilion. Do you have any updates for us and the Baylor family on that?
I'm about ready to go out and buy my own shovel. And start, but obviously, COVID has impacted a lot of different areas, but it's impacted obviously the facility piece for us, and really has caused a 12-month delay, and so we think there's light at the end of the tunnel, and really hope that we can break ground here in the next 12 to 15 months. We've continued our design process, right? And so, when that time comes, when we can put a shovel in the ground, that we're ready, that we're prepared, when we begin, just depending upon final scope, you're probably looking at 18 to 24 months in terms of construction timeline, but excited about that facility to come online. There's no doubt that that it will come online. And you just think about the advantage that we think and are certainly hoping it will provide both programs. A facility that's 7,000 fixed seats, 500 standing room only, right? Really, really compact, really intimate. All of the things in terms of new technology, and still some old school feel to it, right? But just a place that is extremely, extremely difficult for our fans, or for our opponents to come into, right? And just making it really, really difficult for our opponents to play. And then, in addition to the arena, right, this pavilion project that includes the arena, but then also development center for both programs, right? To be able to update that, right, and really service our student athletes at the highest level, and certainly help and facilitate with recruiting, but giving both Kim and Scott the opportunity to continue to stay relevant, nationally relevant. Women's basketball, the opportunity to continue to compete for national championships, and men's basketball, to continue our trajectory that we're on, right, and hopefully the opportunity again to compete for national championships. So it's a really, really important project for us, and I'm looking forward to the day that we can put a shovel in the ground.
Mac, I know momentum is big in this area, in new facilities and gaining the fundraising for new facilities. I remember Rob winning the Heisman Trophy in 2011 was a huge impetus to, the building of McLean Stadium. How much does the success this year of Baylor men's and women's basketball really help push this project forward?
Yeah, it does, John, right? It just, winning and just the feel good and the way it galvanizes the BU family, the Baylor family, right? It helps and it has great impact on it, and people are excited about it. And again, John, I go back to, and Brooke, I go back to, I think it's just as much about the way we're doing it, and I think our fans have fallen in love with our student athletes, the young people, women and men who represent, who are wearing the Baylor uniform, and what they're doing, not just on the court, but off the court. And so great momentum, and we'll do everything we can to continue that momentum from here on through infinity, right? Let's continue it rolling.
Well, I know we're super excited and also awaiting the day. You just tell John and I the day we should get a shovel, and we'll meet you out there. But we've had a super busy spring. When you think about which sport do we not have going on right now, the only answer is football, which we all know is not too far away with spring football. But while we're talking about facilities and new shiny things, a football facility has been in the talks.
Yeah, and let me just say one thing, Brooke, and John, like, football is always going on.
Very true.
It's amazing.
Not be going to games. It's always going on.
It is always going on. But yeah, we're excited for the possibility, the potential of a new football operations building. Our McLean Stadium is elite. It's top 5 in the nation. I think that's objective. I think subjectively, I certainly think it's number 1 in the nation. The setting, its presence and all of the finishes, all of those things, right? It's the perfect size, and it's just it's an unbelievable facility for our fans and for our football program. Where we're falling behind within the conference, and even within certainly Power 5, is our day-to-day stuff for football, the locker rooms, the weight room, the sports medicine area, the meeting rooms, right? The student athlete lounge. We have some opportunity for growth there. And that football ops will be able to solve that, and to be able to put that on the river, right, just north of, adjacent to our grass practice fields, and attach it to the Allison indoor. Now all of a sudden we're going to have this amazing, what I would describe, football complex. And we're hopeful again with that project that we're able to break ground in the next 12 to 15 months. So there will really be a lot of chaos. We'll have, all of our sports going on, and then hopefully two projects, two construction crews, right? A lot of things happening and going on. So excited about that project. And one final thought, when you think about impact, both of those projects, right? Now all of a sudden basketball vacates the Farrell Center. We'll go in, renovate Farrell Center, and really make it a first-class home for volleyball and acrobatics and tumbling. So a huge win there, right? And then when football vacates the Simpson Center, and they take up obviously half of the Simpson Center, certainly second floor. What that does for all of our student athletes, our 500 plus student athletes, now we're able to increase the space, the area for our student athlete center for excellence. So academic achievement, again, character formation, spiritual growth, the impact that will have on all of our student athletes will be amazing. The weight room, the sports medicine area right now is freed up for all of our other sport programs. So it's really both of those projects, main projects, impact all of our remaining sports, and will be really, really great for our student athletes.
We like the sound of that. We are visiting with Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, and we will be right back to talk a little bit more about spring football.
There's only one Motor Trend Truck of the Year. It's Ram from Allen Samuels. Now, kick off the new year with remarkable savings on new Rams during the Allen Samuels Start Something New sales event. This special New Year's event is underway right now, and you can save thousands on new Rams. Ram, for your family, farm, or business, at Waco's most trusted dealer, Allen Samuels. Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Your friend in the car business.
I hate my job,
but I don't mind getting up in the morning.
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue. Next in line.
This is the Sic Em Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Waco. Online at allensamuelsdcj.com.
Back with us on this week's Sic Em Podcast, thanks to our presenting sponsor, Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Your friend in the car business, allensamuelsdcj.com. With Mack Rhoades, Baylor's Director of Athletics. And Mack, let's talk a little more football. Spring football is right around the corner, and we've got a date set now for the spring game. That's exciting. And I'm so happy for Coach Aranda and his staff to get a spring, which they didn't have that last year.
Yeah, you think about, last year, no Big 12 basketball tournament. I mean, there was no spring practice for football. And so, to be able to go through his first spring and obviously, with some new staff members, particularly on the offensive side of the ball with, Coach Grimes and Coach Stuckey and Coach Mateo, and just excited about that, a new role for Sean Bell and Justin Johnson, who does a terrific job with our running back. So excited for Coach Aranda to be able to do that for our team, for our student athletes to be able to go through a spring practice, and it's a time to begin to evaluate and look at, you're too deep, right? And a time for student athletes to kind of rise above and really take some ownership in terms of the program and the program direction. Again, looking forward to it. Talked about the spring game, April 24th at noon at McLean Stadium, right? Planning for it to be free and open to the fans. And so it's a fun time of year. Again, let's just add one more thing to the spring mix. But like you say, it's a great time of year. And this truly is, I think, the best time of year in terms of college athletics.
Last spring, everything kind of fell apart right around this time. So there was no spring game, like you mentioned. But so when we announced that date just was announced here today, you heard it here, April 24th at noon at McLean Stadium. How exciting is it, not only for just the Baylor family that they have the opportunity to go see this team in action in the spring, but how beneficial is it for the program, to try out that new offense and to give that veteran defense a shot of having that spring game that they didn't get last year?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge for the development of our student athletes, and it helps to create some excitement, surrounding the football program. And again, you think back to a year ago this time, and we weren't really sure what we were getting into in terms of COVID and all of the postponements, cancellations, right? To be able to just get back to some sense of normalcy. I just think psychologically, at least for me, but probably for all of us, right? To be able to do that, to be able to have a spring practice, and allow that to kind of pave our way as we move into the fall, I think is huge. I think it's huge for our coaching staff. It's huge for our student athletes, and I think it's huge for our fans. And as you know, right now we're in the middle of the football season ticket renewal, right? The deadline is March 31st. And right now we're at a 70% renewal rate. Our fans are excited, appreciate them. And, just a couple thoughts, our student athletes have stopped and started and paused and, sideways and backwards and forwards, but our fans have as well. When you think about the postponements and the cancellations of games and then replacement of games, and for them to just hang in there, that they have, and to do that with with grace and with just openness to all of or understanding, I should say, for everything that we're going through, is amazing. Just grateful to them. We have, you can't have a great program without great fans, and we've got great fans. And so, that's a long answer and a long way to saying that, yes, I am really, really excited about spring football.
Well, I think a lot of people are excited with that season ticket renewal, and March 31st is the end of that period. Also, we have 7 home games. It's a great home schedule this next year, and no ticket price increase despite having 7 home games. Yeah,
it's our very small way of just saying thank you. Thank you to our fans for hanging in there, as I just, really referenced and spoke about. And as you mentioned, man, what a great home schedule. It really is. If you're a college football fan, it's a challenging schedule, obviously, but I think we'll be open to the task. And I get to see it every day. The things that Coach Aranda is doing within the program and the way he's leading it, and challenging staff, challenging student athletes, mentoring them, and he's doing a terrific job. And, you think about, man, what a first-time head coach and having to deal with COVID and all of those issues and obstacles, right? No spring ball. And I don't know that there's anybody, better in the country that could have handled that and managed that as a first-time head coach. And I think we'll be better for it because of it. I think we come out of that, right, and enter into a new period of time, a new chapter in really, really good position because of the way he's led throughout all of the challenges.
You mentioned that exciting 7-game home slate, no ticket price increase. We want to make sure everyone heard that. But those games include BYU, Texas, OU, and Iowa State. And I know that we mentioned, the renewal of season tickets and that we're already at 70% renewal rate, but we also are selling new football season tickets. And Mac, nearly 500 new season ticket holders. You have to be pretty proud of that, to know that, the Baylor family is recognizing the success of this program and is eager to cheer them on with us in the fall.
Yeah, thank you for all of those that purchased those 500 season tickets, new season tickets, new additions to the football season ticket family, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't, mention and shout out the Bear Foundation in our ticket office and our ticket sales area for just how hard they work and continue to communicate and work with our fans, with our season ticket holders. And, you mentioned the schedule, to have UT at home and Oklahoma at home and Texas Tech, since we've brought that back to the campus now, and, in Iowa State, that would be ranked probably in the top 10 when they come. And so unbelievable schedule. And, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and certainly, it's months away, but we hope and we're praying that we're in a much better place with COVID, and that McLean Stadium can be alive and rocking.
For everyone listening, if you are interested in becoming a football season ticket holder, or if you are looking to renew your season tickets, we just do want to point out that all football ticketing info is available at BaylorBears.com/weare. Baylor We Are is the theme this year, and John, I'm a big fan of that. And Mac, I do want to thank you. We know you have a super busy schedule, but it just is fitting. You have a very super busy schedule and a very super busy, crazy, unprecedented spring. So we want to thank you for being flexible and finding the time to visit with us and to celebrate all of the many successes that everyone in the department has been a part of so far this spring.
Well, thank you both for having me, and grateful to you. To the both of you, and life would be boring if we didn't have everything going on, and so grateful that it is. And again, just wishing all of our Baylor family the very best, and thanking you all on behalf of our staff, our coaches, our student athletes. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. We certainly couldn't do it without you.
Mac, thanks very much. We appreciate it. And that's going to wrap up this week's Sic Em Podcast. For Brooke Bednarz and our athletic director, Mack Rhoades, I'm John Morris. Thanks for tuning in to the Sic Em Podcast.
You've been listening to the Sic Em Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Online at alansamuelsdcj.com. The Sic Em Podcast has been a production of Baylor Athletics.